Und wir drücken ihm die Daumen, dass das auch heute so funktionieren wird. Michael Rasztovits. Eine ziemlich hohe Hürde, die Michael da zu nehmen hat, denn es wartet die Nummer 2 der Welt. Der Weltmeister von 2018, Voltage, Rob Cross.
Well, I was waiting for Elmar to introduce Kurt Bevins. Is that not the... Hang on a minute, how many matches have we played now? This is the third match, isn't it? So yeah. Normally, Elmar steps in and introduces the new referee for the evening session. Kurt looks a little bit put out by that. I've been thrown off my stride, but Rob Cross will be hoping that he's not thrown off his stride as he looks to kickstart what could be, and what he'll hoping will be, his potentially first ever Euro title winning weekend. He's gone close before, he's been knocking on the door, and for a third time in his career earlier this year at the European Darts Open, he was a finalist on the European Tour, but once again he was a losing finalist on the European Tour. Fairly testing encounter for him to start things off. He's up against a man who must be taking a lot of confidence from his performance yesterday. Michael Rasztovits, a qualifier on Friday night, I'm confused because it's Easter weekend, beating Chris Dobey in his first round match yesterday. And on the face of it, 93.5 average, very respectable, but 6 out of 8 on his doubles, the highest percentage of any of the first round winners. And Rob Cross, I don't think will be taking this one lightly at all, Paul Nicholson.
No, not at all. When anybody beats Chris Dobey, you take notice. And
ladies and gentlemen, first leg is Rob to throw first. Game on.
As Kirk gets us underway, the Kirkulator.
We hadn't forgotten Kirk. We knew what Elmar had to say. Kirk's missed out on his big intro to the crowd. Yeah. He loves it. He thrives on it.
Gets it later, maybe. Well, we played a little game with Kirk last night, didn't we?
We did.
We tried to name all 50 states in America, and we got there within about 10 minutes. Yeah, he's rather clever as our Kirk. And who's going to be the clever darter out of the follically challenged players on the hockey tonight?
100.
I was thinking about mentioning that, but I thought better of it, so I'm glad you stepped in because you can take all the flack now.
Oh, it's a winning haircut. Hey, former players, think about it. Jamie Hughes, Rob Cross, Michael Van Gerwen. There's a pattern occurring. Yeah, Rasztovits was brilliant last night against Dobey. Dobey did admit that he didn't really turn up and play his best stuff. He only averaged 85. But Rasztovits was very clinical when he got chances, and he should take a lot of credit for the way he played last night. That was very impressive.
Just the one previous meeting between these two, Rasztovits and Cross, and guess what? It was on the European Tour last year as well, and it was in a third round match at Hildesheim in the German Darts Championship, and Cross came through that one 6-4, and I reckon it might be a similar story today. I certainly don't think Cross will have this one all his own way. He's, or he was, a 9-1 on shot to win this. Rasztovits 11-2, a bigger prize than Ratajski was to beat Van Gerwen. Make of that what you will. I don't think he's an 11-2 shot, though.
Well, he needed to stay up there for the second 60 to leave tops. He has left something doable just in case Rob can't get the 81. He's going to have to go 12 for bull. Bullseye.
$50.
Needed another club on that one.
80.
Yeah, found the 19 instead. Well, this is for a break. Done the easy bit.
60.
They were the kind of shots that he was pinging last
31.
night. And Rob Cross is not going to give you too many opportunities with the way he scores. So single 15 for double 8 to tie up a steady first leg.
15.
Well, that one came out of the hand wrong. That was a good inch short. It's a perfect lie for Michael. Yeah, he didn't even need it.
Michael Rasztovits.
Yeah, he went right to the top end of that double 10 bit. And Rasztovits does break in the very first leg. Rob Cross losing 8-2 to Van Gerwen in Cardiff on Thursday. Do you think that will have tarnished him in any way, or is he the sort of bloke that can just move on quite swiftly?
The way he rebounded after
42.
Van Gerwen dusted him up in Dublin, it was very impressive. He got rid of that performance and said it was just a night off. It just so happens that arguably his two worst performances of the year, or two of the three anyway,
96.
came against Michael Van Gerwen. The other one was when he hit the wall energy-wise against Aspinall in the UK Open final. And that can happen to anybody. But it will hurt him because
100.
he is gunning for Michael. He's gunning for his world ranking. We know that Michael's going to be world number one more than likely for the rest of this year. But Rob Cross wants to get there. He wants to challenge Michael. He sees him as the man at the top of the ladder, and he wants to get with him at the top of the ladder and overtake him. And those defeats will hurt.
Yeah, 4 regular season defeats now in the Premier League over the course of this year and last for Rob Cross. I mentioned those 3 final defeats on the Euro Tour as well for Rob Cross. All of those were against Michael Van Gerwen as well. They can't meet in the final this weekend, though. They're in the same half of the draw. Wonderful.
162.
Well, it's not 302. So he had 3 treble 18 to leave 140, but he's left 143. Can he put a claim on 305 as well?
143.
Well, we'll find out soon enough.
Nobody in the world is as good on treble 18 as Rob Cross. He was going to treble 18 again, of course he was. I love the way he works.
46.
It's so individual.
97.
I've never seen anybody use that treble 18 as good as Dennis Priestley back in the early 90s. And Rasztovits is not going to get a shot at the 97.
57.
So Rob Cross gets his own shot at it.
97.
Rasztovits waiting on tops.
Yeah, he went for the double
57.
to leave tops. It was an aggressive dart. But Rasztovits for a 2-0 lead.
Double 10 again. Double 10 came to his rescue last time, but not on this occasion.
He was thinking there about the 2-0 lead. He knew it was an important dart. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that face. Has the chance gone?
Yes, it has. Rob Cross steals the leg from under the nose of Michael Rasztovits, and it's 1 break apiece.
How often do you get an opportunity like that to go 2-0 up against Rob Cross? Not many times at the minute.
60.
Well, this is it now with Rasztovits. He can't afford to let one slip up turn into a string of 5 or 6. He needs to put that one behind him, move on, build again.
125.
2 finals and a semi-final so far this year for Rob Cross as well. He lost 11-5 to Nathan Aspinall, of course, in the UK Open final. And a beaten finalist on the Euro Tour last month as well, as we said.
135.
Just the 2 PDC titles to his name since he became the world champion. His first was secured in June on the Pro Tour Players Championship, and the second was in Brisbane at the World Masters. Sorry, the World Series event, the Brisbane Masters.
Yeah, he'll be going back to Australia this year to try and defend that one. I've just been looking through the stats to see how his form was after the first MVG feat in the Premier League. It wasn't bad. Let's not forget, he made a semi on the Pro Tour, and then within a couple of weeks of that, he went to the final of the UK Open, so it didn't affect him too much. Rasztovits is in this game, that's for sure.
61.
Again, a chance. Gets the 25. 18. Two nines and misses it again. The more he does that, the more Rob Cross is going to punish him.
Well, echoes, more than a few echoes of the Van Gerwen Ratajski match here. The missed opportunities that Ratajski squandered earlier in the match potentially could have made it a very, very different outcome indeed, and it's striking Ras here as well, because Rob Cross is in for a hold of throw, 70 check out on double 8, and Cross leads 2-1, whereas quite conceivably 3-0 down.
For trouble 18,
45.
it's a thing to talk about. In the past, Cross looking to leave that 170 with 2 treble 19s.
96.
That's all right in that spot. Got to think that the seed of doubt may have been planted in the Austrian after missed chances. But if you can keep doing that, just stay on Rob's tail and hopefully get another sniff. This game ain't over.
Absolutely.
Many an opponent.
100.
Well, this is his 6th because he had 4 on Thursday night in the qualifiers. Well, sorry, Friday night. Keep mixing my days up here. It's
48.
What are we today? Sunday.
Sunday. Feels like Saturday.
Sunday, yeah. It's strange. So 4 in qualifying and then Dobie yesterday.
Double 7. Little smile.
14.
Well,
he will be back with Rasztovits on 184.
Rob Cross knows that, let's say Sunday, I was just about to say Saturday. Second round day is all about survival. Get through this and then get the good night's sleep that you need to make an assault on the title. In the match, and Rob Cross is halfway to that target that he needs of 6 legs.
Yeah, that run to the 3rd round for Rasztovits last year, by the way, in the German Darts Championship was very much the exception. Prior to that, it was 1 win and 9 defeats for him on the Euro Tour. The solitary win coming in the first round in Gibraltar. He's been mid-time Euro, but that 3rd round appearance.
I've spoken to him on a couple of occasions about what he wants to do. He wants to be a full-time professional. He wants to get better, and he wants to contend. And it's not for the lack of effort or the lack of belief. He can. I think Austrian darts is just feeding off the success of Suljovic.
Yeah.
We've almost forgotten about the Rodriguez boys this season. I haven't seen them.
164.
There's the Suljovic.
Match 5 this evening.
He's playing Josh Payne.
128.
He's got his seat nice and early. Rasto found, of course, fellow Austrian and all part of the same camp.
43.
Rob Cross.
46.
His favourite part of the... You've got to think the goal. 218s then. Rubbish. We're doing enough.
Tariq is Sulevic's son's name. It just came to me.
Double two. And he gets it.
Could have got awkward there for him, Rob Cross, but he found that double two, but he's not too impressed with that leg. He's got a bit of a grimace on his face and, yeah, just needs to put that one to bed as well. Now, Rasztovits
140.
just needs to start knitting together some consistency here. He's had too many below par visits over the last couple of legs. He's ushered Rob Cross over the finish line in the last two, I think.
Now, Rasztovits, of course, will be earmarking a potential berth in the Austrian tournament, which is in 2 weeks in Graz. There will be a home nation qualifier for that. So it'll be interesting to see who qualifies through there. You've got the likes of Kallinger, you've got Hannes Schneer, the Rodriguez boys, a whole host of excellent players from Austria. And my friend Wilhelm Schwingenschlurgel.
121.
I'd love him to get through. Come on, Wilhelm, get it done.
Yeah, Schneer was beaten by Rasztovits in the qualifiers before this one.
100.
Well, a degree of consistency for Rasztovits in this sixth leg. 300 from 3 visits so far.
93.
From this position, Michael Rasztovits should win this leg. He isn't going to win it if he doesn't hit a treble.
58.
There's no real urgency from Cross in this game. He hasn't needed it. Hasn't expelled any major energy. And there's a languid ton. He didn't need to aim them. He's just forcing Rasztovits to make mistakes. 143 coming in though. Double 16. Another chance missed.
Robbie Wigwan 90.
Now Van Gerwen will go bull here. Rob is not. He's going 60. Big 20. Or that for double 5.
80.
Yeah, just leaves the hand 32. Hanging in the air as he tries to process what went wrong with that final dart. Rasztovits, this has to go, and it does. Couldn't afford to give Rob Cross any further encouragement. He's got another leg on the board. It's only a hold of throw, but that will have just been a little bit of an inconvenience for Rob Cross because he could have been 5-1 to the good.
Might actually not be a bad thing for Rob Cross.
Might just focus his mind again.
Yeah. Rob's had a very good season so far. A couple of blips. He'll be disappointed that he didn't win the UK Open, but he was immensely graceful in defeat to Nathan Aspinall. And the one thing we know about Rob this season is that he's taken those constructive breaks. He's missed a couple of Pro Tour events.
100.
I think one of the events he played on the Saturday, but realised he was just spent and went home and had a rest. And he took the whole weekend off a couple of weeks back.
140.
It's a brutal schedule with the Premier League involved as well.
I think that was a prudent thing to do, really. I'm surprised that it doesn't happen more, in all honesty, especially amongst the elite players. It is a draining process.
I think it's starting to happen more. We saw Daryl Gurney take a break after Belfast, and Gerwyn Price, of course, is not here this weekend because he took a break after Cardiff. And with that in mind, 59. I think that's the best break they can take. Because they're near home.
Yeah. Well, it's been far from spectacular from Rob Cross today so far. I don't think he'll mind me saying that as well. It's just been, as he said, a matter of just getting through this second round encounter
60.
and then building and preparing for the demands of the final day.
There's pacing yourself, and then there's being a bit too relaxed. At the minute, he's pacing himself quite well. Single 18 for double 16. Yeah, that's very good indeed. Palms off Rasztovits once more. Gets that 3-leg gap back. And he's within one of a game with Daryl Gurney, the one we just mentioned. That will be a real corker if he can get the last leg.
Yeah, it was Gurney who beat Cross in the third round in Hildesheim 3 weeks ago, en route to the title. Yeah, good hold actually for Cross just in that 7th leg. Sorry, Paul. Start brilliantly, 57 to kick things off, but he quickly got into his stride after that. Good response.
Here comes Rasztovits.
140.
His final flourish. But it's one of the most ridiculous stats, really, isn't it, that Rob Cross hasn't won a European Tour event yet. He's got the rest of the stuff. He's got a TV title. He's obviously got the World Championship and the World Series event in Brisbane. Got Pro Tours.
Yep, it's the one obvious absentee from the CV so far for the former world champion.
95.
I think one of the other ridiculous statistics that I keep harping on about is the fact that Wayne Jones hasn't won a Pro Tour title. I mean, considering his career, absolutely ludicrous.
25. Michael Uruguay, 170.
The Wanderer will return one day, maybe.
Oh, what a story that would be if he came and won a huge title.
98.
One of these days I will get to the bottom of Rasztovits' tattoo as well. Unless somebody's already beaten me to it.
What, translation?
Or just what it says, what it means, significance, how long he's had it.
133.
I'm going to make that my mission for the rest of the day.
Single 16 for tops. To stay in it. That's a pull. A previous visit from Cross just goes to show how intelligent he is on the dartboard. Using the board to leave 170. This will be a very fitting end to this match.
Yeah, giving himself every possible opportunity, and he might well just give himself every opportunity. This would be not only the icing on the cake, but the cherry on the top as well, and the sprinkles, but it's just the 25.
45. Michael Uruguay, 35.
Crowd acknowledging that one.
They should acknowledge that as well. That's a very good finish for Michael Rasztovits to stay in it. But everyone watching at home who wants to get better at darts, it's not just about technique, it's about tactics and giving yourself certain shots.
57.
Rob Cross, for me, is in the top 0.5% of counters in the world. He is showing us a different brand of counting that I've never seen before. We've had stages in, the last couple of generations of darts. Everything was very conventional back in the 70s and 80s. And then all of a sudden we had this influx of continental dart players from Canada and the Netherlands. And they used to count a little differently. Started using the bullseye a bit more. But nowadays, it's gone up to a different level. People using treble 18 and 17 a lot more. People using the 25 in the bull. It's really tactical. If you want to get better at counting and tactics, watch Van Gerwen, watch Cross. They're the two.
174.
James Wade was very complimentary about Peter Wright in terms of his scoring and thinking and his counting process.
Well, Peter's one of those players who's had to adapt because he's part of
He's had to make that transition from that era, yeah.
So he's seen both sides of the coin, but what a approach play from Cross. 174, 134. Tops coming in for a 13-darter and a 6-3 victory. It hasn't been a classic from Cross, but it has been good enough so far.
Yeah,
64.
More than good enough. He's just been able to keep Rasztovits at arm's length. It was a trading of breaks early on, but there was another crucial break further down the line, and Rob Cross comes through relatively unscathed in the end by 6 legs to 3. 6-4 it was when they met on the Euro Tour last year, and Rasztovits, I think, can head home with his head held high as well, having acknowledged not only a successful qualification campaign but a very notable win over Dobie last night. But I think this was just one match too far for him. But it's Rob Cross who goes through. The former world champion will once again meet Daryl Gurney on the Euro Tour stage. Maybe, just maybe, revenge will be on his mind having lost to the Ulstermen in the third round in Hildesheim 3 weeks ago. We'll hear from Rob Cross in a matter of moments, and a little reminder that on the way next we have Ricky Evans, finalist in Hildesheim 3 weeks ago, up against the bully boy and the number 8 seed Michael Smith.
Was probably not your A game, but it was at the end a win. Everything was under control.
Yeah, got the win. It wasn't how I wanted it. I wanted it to be a little bit more extravagant, but it didn't really happen. So sort of go back, get some sleep now, and rest up for tomorrow, and hopefully come in and be myself.
Yesterday you went to Trachtenangermeier. I mean, you didn't look as good as me, right? How was it?
No, do you know what? We went in and absolutely amazing. I actually, when you look at them, I expected it to be more uncomfortable. When I put it on, it was so comfortable. And I definitely look better than you anyway.
And you know, the lederhosen, that's the one for your whole life. You can always wear it your whole life.
Do you know, we renew vows soon, so I might even have a little go there. Why not? It was a fantastic experience, and I'm very lucky to get that experience. And I will say this, when I did put it on, I was so surprised, because obviously it was fantastic. It fitted, and I was like, oh, I feel comfortable. It was saying you could even travel in it. It was that easy. It was brilliant.
That's cool. Great to have you here, Rob Cross. Der hat gestern